Hey people, got another mock showcase here today. It's not really anything novel, and it's kind of not really finished, if I'm being perfectly honest. I had a few ambitious ideas for it that I kind of scaled back. Um, but yeah, I just was figured I'd show it off as it is and just kind of go with it. Like I've mentioned before, I kind of wanted my YouTube channel to be a collection of me trying to practice and get better at certain kinds of building. So when it comes to doing mock dioramas like this, which I'm ultimately don't think I'm very good at, I feel like it's nice to log stuff even if I don't think it's great. So I'm overcritical about how I think things should look, and I was worried that this thing wouldn't be too good enough. And I was like, you know what? It's still worth it. Probably make a video on it just to sort of save it and get a good look at it. Essentially, this is my Pacific Theater mock. It was mostly just an experiment with the camouflage of this tank. This is my Japanese Type 95 Ha-Go World War II light tank. And I just finished building this tank just a little while ago, and I thought it would be nice to feature it on a base plate. Ever since doing my Russian mud mock, I really liked using the sideways facing bricks. It's occasionally known as the snot technique, studs not on top. Doing the sideways facing bricks for the platform. And I did an experiment on that to sort of see if I could try that again, but with different colors this time. Essentially, I built this this tank, the Type 95, in camouflage form. So this is built in camouflage form, which I didn't plan to do, but ended up doing anyway. As you've seen with my other tanks probably, with my Panzer IV and my Sherman and stuff, they're made in a sort of a standard gray color, namely the Sherman because it's not supposed to be gray, though the Panzer IV occasionally was. I designed those in primarily gray colors because the part selection when it comes to building things like this is not tremendously good. So I usually end up using gray especially as my prototyping material, but then also as my main building material because it's the easiest and the most diverse material to work with. However, I was lucky enough with this specific tank design to be able to do a simple camouflage scheme on it. I think it looks very nice. This is probably my best camouflage scheme that I've managed to create so far, with maybe the exception of my Panzer 38T. Which I felt like looked pretty nice. This one I like a lot. I have plans to do a new camouflage scheme on this one as well, though I haven't gotten around to that quite yet. But I did build this with a camouflage scheme to begin with. So what I figured is it would make a lot of sense to make a build that sort of honors that camouflage scheme. So what I did is I built sort of a jungle terrain coming out onto a beach here, somewhere in the Pacific Islands. I don't pick specific locations for my mocks usually. I just sort of use imagination and fill in the holes. But what I wanted to do is show a landscape that blended with the color of the tank. So essentially making the camouflage effective. So I used the same shade of green, the same shade of brown, and the same shade of tan that I used specifically on the tank to use other pieces to sort of blend it into the background. I think it's fairly nice. This mock was, it's fairly small as you can tell, based off stud dimension. My bigger mocks I've had to show on my actual build table because I couldn't fit it on my desk, quite frankly. But this one's kind of nice. I feel like it's a cool representation to be able to take sort of a smaller space, but then be able to put in some nice detail still. And I can spin it around as well. I'll do it the best that I can here. So yeah, it's fairly rudimentary. I wanted to put some palm trees in this design, just to show that it was a beach and this isn't like a desert or something that like was sort of mislabeled. But I think it's pretty good, all things considered. I did the same track system on the ground that I did for my Russian mud mock. This one doesn't have the indentation though, so the tank doesn't actually sit in the ground. I just sort of did it like just on the surface, and I think it looks pretty good, all things considered. I made the plants here sort of moved out of the way to look like it was really tall jungle brush that kind of was smushed through by the weight of the tank. Sort of imagining like softer tropical plants, and then a lighter tank sort of coming through, because the Ha-Go was designed to be sort of a mountain and jungle tank, which I thought was really fun. I really wanted to do a jungle build on it as well. I had a lot of fun designing this sort of organic scenery. I tried some new techniques and things I had never tried before. I really like plants when it comes to building with Legos, and I want to get good at building some better plants. And I have some more plans for some tree builds and stuff too. They're just random things I'll probably end up featuring on the channel as well. But it was mostly a representation of this camouflage and how the tank blended in with its environment. Other than that, it's not really too much more to it. I planned to have some soldiers on it because I have some new Japanese infantrymen that I bought from Battlebrick, though I didn't end up putting them on the mock because I think it looks okay right now. I built this a little while ago. As you might be able to tell, it's a little bit dusty, which is annoying because it gets dusty so fast. But that's about it. This is just sort of a mock experiment. Like I mentioned, mocks are not really my jam. I'm not really good at them. I try primarily to build the vehicles. And then also when it comes to the mocks, I like to experiment, but I wouldn't call myself a very good mock builder. But it was fun to do this sloping and kind of, change the land here and then change sort of the transition from the mud to the sand as well and do the jungle. the jungle over here and things too. So just sort of an experiment. I thought it'd be fun to show off. I think it's nice to make little scenery bits like how I did with my M4 Sherman when that first came out, you know, to sort of honor the tank designs as well. And it's just simple and beautiful, and I don't know, thought it would be fun to share. And I hope some people got some enjoyment out of this. If you didn't, that's no big deal. I kind of make these things anyway, and I thought that it would be fun to film. Though I probably could do better mocks than this in the future. But I did enjoy this and did want to share it. So thank you for your time coming along and checking out my weird little projects. With any luck, there will be more random things like this on my channel.